What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Time we go for it's for game week 38 in the Premier League. There's only really 3 or 4 games that actually matter, so I'm going to speak about them in more detail. I'll kind of just give a brief prediction for the others. Bournemouth against Leicester. I've gone 2-0 Bournemouth. Bournemouth do still have some injury concerns, but Leicester won't be playing Jamie Vardy in this one, which means their goal threat will be pretty much non-existent. Although the Foxes have been much better in the last few games, I just don't think that they've got the quality, especially without Jamie Vardy, to go for vitality and win. Although they did beat the Cherries early in the season, and that was thanks to Facundo Buonanotte beauty. And I just don't understand why Van Nistelrooy has hardly played him since he's taken over. Really baffling. Fulham against Manchester City. Fulham virtually ended their rivals Brentford's chance of European football next season last time by beating them 3-2 at the GTEC, which was beautiful. Manchester City still haven't fully confirmed themselves into the Champions League for next season. They've got almost everyone back from injury. Kovacic will be missing through suspension, but I don't think that's a big deal at all because Gonzalez is much better than him anyway, and he might actually finally get a chance to play. Going to Craven Cottage is tough, and Fulham are very competitive in every game they play. They were very good at the Etihad early in the season and should have won the game. They were unlucky to lose 3-2. If Adama Traore could finish in that game, he could have had a hat-trick. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Mark Silva outclass Guardiola again, because Guardiola's been outclassed by pretty much everyone this season. But I'm going to go 2-1 Man City, kind of because I want it to happen. I love seeing Fulham lose, but also because they actually have something to play for. And Fulham at home aren't quite as clinical as they are away because teams tend to sit in a little bit more. Ipswich against West Ham. I've gone 2-1 to West Ham. Ipswich actually have quite a lot of injury problems themselves at this moment in time. A lot of players that won't be fit. And the Tractor Boys' home form has been atrocious this season. They've only won once at Portman Road. West Ham have also not been great this season at all. You know, they've been poor, but they did win their last away game against Manchester United. They've beaten Arsenal on the road as well. And when you've got Jared Bowen, man, like, you've always got a big chance because he is such a good player. Liverpool against Crystal Palace. This won't even be a football match, man. This will be a party because both sides have won trophies this season. McAllister won't be available for Liverpool. Adam Wharton, who ran the show in so many of Crystal Palace's games and against Liverpool at Anfield last season, also won't be available. Gahey also may not be available because the other home side have gone 1-0 Liverpool. In the game at Selhurst Park, Liverpool also won that one 1-0, although they were very lucky because they should have had a penalty. Yeah, I just don't think either side will care about this game too much. When I say that, I thought Palace wouldn't really care too much against Wolves, but they played very well in that one. Manchester United against Aston Villa. Villa need to win and hope that Chelsea or Newcastle drop points, or even Man City drop points, and they will get into the Champions League. Manchester United and Amram have been atrocious. They've lost 14 out of their 26 games, which is just nowhere near good enough. At home, especially under him, like, their results have been abysmal. There's been so many games where they've lost 2 or 3-0 at Old Trafford. It's just embarrassing, man. I can't even lie. I do think Amram deserves more time, but he is on a very thin rope now. However, Villa's record against Manchester United is absolutely awful. Last season, Villa were 2-0 up at Old Trafford and lost the game 3-2. This season, they went and beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League, played Man United a couple of days later and drew 0-0. Man United have beaten Villa 40 times in the Premier League. Villa have won 5 times. Like, it's mad. However, a lot of teams have broken these sorts of records against Manchester United. Like Newcastle, for example, they had a horrible record at Old Trafford. They won there this season. West Ham just won 2-0 against them. Bournemouth won 3-0 for the second season in a row there. Like, it's definitely a place where you can go and win. And if Man United were to lose, it'd be their 10th home defeat of the season. And I'm backing Villa to get it done 2-1 to Villa. Youri Tielemans could be back, although they did very well without him against Tottenham. I wanted to see Kamara Onana from the start of the season, but obviously Tielemans has been so good that it's been virtually impossible to drop him. But them two, I think, have a perfect dynamic in the midfield. And obviously Villa need to win, man. Ramsey will be back from suspension. Newcastle against Everton. Newcastle's record against Everton the last few games has been really bad. They're winless in the last 3 against the Toffees. They drew 0-0 early in the season when Anthony Gordon took one of the worst penalties of all time. But like Villa, they need to win. If Newcastle win, they're in the Champions League because of how good their goal difference is. And we all know, I love Eddie Howe. He's my favourite manager in the world. He needs to be playing in the Champions League. Everton will be without both of their first choice centre-backs. Tarkowski's been injured and Braithwaite pulled up last week too. However, Newcastle won't be able to take full advantage of that because Alexander Isak was not available against Arsenal. He hasn't been pictured in training, although Newcastle maybe sometimes do tend to do that on purpose. I won't be surprised if he's on the bench and gets thrown in if Newcastle aren't winning in the 60th minute, because even if he isn't fully fit, you need someone with that sort of ability on the pitch. But I don't want to see Anthony Gordon playing, at least not on the left in this game. Harvey Barnes should be on the left because he's much better on the left than he is on the right, and he's a better left winger than Anthony Gordon is. And also, Anthony Gordon never turns up against Everton. He's always atrocious, so why would he play? And he's been really bad the whole season, so he doesn't really deserve to start. It should be Barnes and Murphy, and if he's fit, Isak in the middle, or he's not fit, maybe Gordon can play through the middle. But Harvey Barnes should be on the left. And if that happens, I'm backing Newcastle to get it done fairly comfortably, 2-0. Newcastle have won their last 6 home Premier League games. They've kept clean sheets in each of their last 3 as well. So really, they should win. Everton aren't exactly a potent team in front of goal, but Ndiaye did score 2 last time, and he is obviously their danger man. Beto, I mean, he's a bit hit and miss, but I would expect Botman, Shah, or Burn, whoever plays out of the 3. Maybe it will be all 3 of them as have been playing the last couple of weeks. But yeah, realistically, Newcastle should win this. St James's Park should be absolutely bouncing, and hopefully Newcastle will get over the line. Nottingham Forest against Chelsea. Probably the biggest game this weekend because both teams have something to play for. Both teams are fighting for the Champions League, and only one of them can get it. The game between the two sides at Stamford Bridge was very even. It ended 1-1. But Forest did have 10 men for like the last 20 minutes, and they were still very good despite that. So I'm very hopeful that they can get it done. Chelsea's away form in 2025 has been abysmal. They've won one away game this calendar year. It's unlikely that Maresca will change the way he plays for some reason. Despite the fact that Chelsea are much more suited and are much better when playing a fast counter-attacking style of football, he wants them to play boring tiki-taka possession. I just don't understand why, man. It's just stupid. And that style of football is perfect for Nuno Ball, and especially given the fact that Fofana is not going to be fit. Forest on the break are going to rip Chelsea apart. Fofana is such a good player. His recovery pace is so key for Chelsea to avoid these sorts of matchups where they're going to be up against a pacey team. He's the guy that can stop them. But without him, Elanga's going to have an absolute field day. Again, I'm very hopeful for Nottingham Forest. I really need you to win. Come on, you tricky trees. I've won 2-1 to Forest. You've been so good this season. Obviously, the Champions League is not on your hands, but if you win, you give yourself a really good chance at getting in. Yeah, come on, one last push, lads, please. You've got this. Southampton against Arsenal. Arsenal have a few injuries, but it's Southampton, man. This team are atrocious. Hopefully, we see Ethan Nwaneri starting this game, because if he doesn't start this one, when will he start? Arteta, you've seen how many injuries your team has got this season. Rest a few of their lads, man. There's no point playing Declan Rice as much as I love him, and he's in my FPL team. So if he does play, I'm not going to complain too much, but I would like to see him rested. I've gone 5-1 Arsenal, man. I know it's maybe a little bit optimistic, but come on, man. It's Southampton. Do you know what I mean? Tottenham against Brighton. Tottenham just won the Europa League. I'm actually, you know what? I've slated Ange, and I still do think they need to get rid of him. But I'm actually proud of him for once. He changed the way he played. He went defensive, and they won. They won a game. Do you know what I mean? Why didn't we do this earlier? They might not be in 17th in the league, but Brighton have been on a good run of form again since dropping Lewis Dunk. That guy holds that team back so much, man. He needs to be dropped permanently. And next season, he should not be starting any games. Tottenham will be in a party mood. Half the players are probably going to tie up the game drunk. And you know what I mean? No one's going to care in the stadium about this game. I think Brighton will win 2-0. There is still hope for Brighton to get into Europe next season. Chelsea would finish 7th and win the Conference League. Brighton would enter the Conference League for next season. I mean, Brighton, just get a point, man. Please don't let Brentford even have a chance. Wolves against Brentford. Brentford have a few injury issues. For Wolves, it's likely that this will be Cunha's last game for the club. He might not even play because of that, because I know some Wolves fans are very unhappy with him. And rightly so, you could argue, because Man United is really not much of a step up, if it is at all. They are in such a bad place right now. They could get relegated next season, genuinely. Wolves did concede 4 to Palace last time. Brentford do score quite a lot of goals, and their away form has been a lot better this year, but I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Doesn't predict this week. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you soon for another video.